So Bitcoin, I'm going to start with a daily chart, regular candles. We'll drop this down for a minute. And we were hoping that this bullish candle reversal that we got off the 20-day moving average would see some follow through to the upside and some support if we were going to keep trending higher. We didn't get any follow through. We got a bearish engulfing yesterday to follow up and a breakdown and a close. Most important was close below the 20 moving average in Bitcoin dollars. So we are in a correction. This in sequence now is complete, and we're looking for, you know, if you're going to be bullish, we need to look closely now at how this correction unfolds. So basically we're looking for an ABC correction or something like that. For me, I really don't want to see this. I'm going to measure from the high to the low. I really don't want to see this come back more than 50%, and I don't want to see it continue below the daily 50 moving average. So somewhere between these two, I think either 8,600, which we're approaching, and these prior lows will be where we find some support, or potentially the next step lower down to 8,200. And 8,200 for me becomes my bull bear line. Now, next week, I think it's the 14th or 16th, next week is the big Consensus 2018 organized by Coinbase. It's the biggest cryptocurrency convention that there is. Everybody goes, and it's super bullish for crypto. 3 years ago, following Convention 2018, Bitcoin rallied 29%, I think I read. Last year, in the week of Convention 2017, Bitcoin rallied 69% and then never stopped, really. Then it had a pullback, and then it kept going into year end. So this year, the convention is 3 times bigger than it was last year. And last year produced a 69% rally in Bitcoin. So do I think that we're going to rally this weekend ahead of that? Probably not. Should we be buckling up and just waiting for next week? Probably. So I'm looking for basically Bitcoin to make a base either between 8,600 and 8,200, and then next week I think that we see a rally. Now, markets are really funny about how fast they learn, and everybody's talking about this convention and the effect that it has on Bitcoin. So they're even talking about it on CNBC. And so what tends to happen, you know, that like the first time the market did QE, nobody knew what it was, and it took ages for stocks to respond. And then, you know, a couple of years later roll on, and Mario Draghi and the ECB mention QE maybe, and markets fly. Markets learn really quickly. So it might be that we don't have to wait for the convention to be over for Bitcoin or these cryptos to start to rally. But I do think we need to get this correction out of the way. So here, from this high to this low, from here, if we just do a 618 of this, then here we are here. This as we go a bit lower. I think this is going to be a bit messy. I'm finding it hard to measure the legs, but I'm expecting not. I know that everybody's looking at this awful correction going, oh, are you sure we got rejected at the 200-day moving average? You know, isn't this the end of the world and we're really going to go all the way lower? No, I don't think we are. But you know what? If we close below 8,200, then yeah, my bullish ideas are on hold, and we need to see a retest of the lows, and we could then become sellers, you know. But only below 8,200 am I going to get really bearish and get my bear suit back out again. So that's how I'm seeing Bitcoin. Yes, we're in a correction. No need to sit it out. You know, if you're a long-term holder, there's nothing to worry about yet. If you bought Bitcoin recently, I would get out and wait for a bottom and wait for that turn. But I'm not expecting a massive pullback in Bitcoin. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. Between 8,600 and 8,200, I expect support, and I'm getting a bit bearish below 8,200. If we do the same thing with Ethereum, this is Ethereum US dollar, and it's the 4-hour chart. I've taken my moving averages off, but it doesn't matter. So in this one, I think that we'll probably see a clearer ABC. But I find this one a little bit easier to read. So that means, you know, for me, if I look at the closest fib levels to these, 654 and 600 really. 600 is 50% of the rally. It's 598, somewhere around there. If we put that in daily terms with daily moving averages, this higher one is really going to be the daily 200 moving average, and that probably should catch Ethereum around 654. But worst case, 50% of this rally, I think around 598 or back to the daily 50 moving average. I'm only going to be bearish in Ethereum back below, I think, 548 and a close below the daily 50 moving average. So we just got to sit out these corrections and see how they go for now. And I really do think next week, you know, it would be astonishing if we didn't see a rally. And it might be that we start earlier than people are expecting, or it might be, you know, that, yeah, I think that that's might potentially what could happen. So that's Bitcoin and Ethereum. What's looking good today is one of the ones that I was tweeting about is ICX. So let's talk about where we are with ICX. This is a wildly popular coin. This is the same thing. You know, look how we lost the daily 20 moving average in this, and everything looks horrendous until we found support. We found really good support, 4-hour support from this 200 moving average, which these cryptos love. I think that this looks like a bull flag to me. So if this is a bull flag, then we can measure our targets in ICX quite nicely, because we measure the pole from high to the low, and then we put it from the bottom of the flag here. So in ICX, that gives us a target up here of 6,400. I actually have a target lower than that at 5,900, and then I think probably 6,000, but this is what I'm looking for. But what's key in this one is these prior highs and around 4,800, all of this resistance. We haven't broken out yet in Icon Bitcoin, even though we're pumping. So let me hide some of these, and we'll talk about it. So 4,872, that's really the kind of the pivot level that we've been stuck around, and we really need to see a breakout. So the way you get around that is you either buy pullbacks underneath it. I like to buy it small underneath it, and if it's really going to go and it's not just a false breakout, it will break out and it will give you a pullback entry, and sometimes that's my point where I add. So again, 5,892 and then maybe 7,000 are upside targets for ICX Bitcoin. So good luck with that.